please feel free to drop your comments, contributions on our social media platform, and we'll be so glad and delighted to read and also hear your suggestions and your views. So quickly, we'll take a look at the next story that we have still from the Punch newspaper before we go to Vanguard. This says arms mop up. Police plans clamp down on VIPs cultists. The Nigerian police force has commenced to move to recover unlicensed firearms from politicians and very important persons across the country. This followed the directive of the Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, who ordered the various state police commands to recover arms in the hands of uncertified bearers. Egbetokun had last week set up an ad hoc committee tasked with the comprehensive review of firearms licensing and regulations by the NPF in line with the Firearms Act and other extant laws. So the Police High Command revealed that the committee's mandate would encompass a thorough assessment of current firearms licensing procedures and regulation to enhance their activities, transparency and accountability accordingly. So that's the story that we have. That's still from the Punch newspaper. And I think, to me, this is a great deal, because we have people who are holding on to all of this and they are not licensed to have them, and then before you know, you're hearing, see, this is Nigeria. It's not like abroad where you can just go walk into the store and then say, I need a gun, and then you just buy, and then you go to your house and then just do as you like, and then you just hear where one person will just wake up one morning, and then, you know, before you hear it's a gunshot, you know. so and it's a good act. The fact that they are not also just looking at the masses, they are also looking at important, like VIPs, that's important personnel, and they're also looking inwards to the politicians. So nobody is exempted from this. So let me start with you, Wise. What do you have to say to this?
Yeah, Modot, I smell barbecue.
Okay, so what's the barbecue?
So the barbecue I'm smelling here, in fact, the barbecue is not even smelling, it's already born. Why would VIPs, personalities, individuals, certain individuals, have access to firearms
in the first place?
Unregistered, not certified. That is the question we need to ask ourselves now.
How did we get
so
there?
The roof is on fire. There is fire on the mountain. Let me talk about history. In fact, it's not history. It's something happening currently. You hear about several shootings in America, in Canada. Shootings, unnecessary. Someone is angry, you did it to me, blah blah blah.
The next thing,
out the gun,
and cock.
Several gangs in the US. Do we want the same thing to see? We are not. Everybody does not have the right to go and buy a gun. No. We are not. We are not safe. So what happens when people are now having guns? In fact, unregistered and uncertified. There is fire on the mountain in this country. We need to look at this. In fact, the people in charge of arms and ammunition, the police itself, the other security personnel and parastals, they have a question to answer. Insecurity is eating deep into our flesh, and yet this one is coming up. Why would, activities of cultists, something is happening. I think we are still going into that story. I think it's one of our hot topic today. Something is happening and you cannot make arrests. We are using preferential treatment, sentiment, relative, blah blah blah, to parley some people and sweep some things under the carpet.
And we're not facing what exactly needs to be faced.
How do we now? So somebody cannot sleep with his two eyes closed again. This is a sorry case.
Bishop.
Well, I will not add anything other than what White has mentioned, said already. Then, and for me, the police are doing their job. I wish them success.
All right.
Are they really doing their job? Let's call it.
That's the question. That's the question.
Are they really doing? Because security is everybody's job. It's all of us. We are into it. eagle eye. Everybody, we need to open our eyes.
You know, even some of the officials that are not supposed to be, you know, handling the firearm.
Primarily, I don't know if Bishop is aware of this. Primarily, our police is in Yoruba. The name for police is Olopa. That means
exactly where I was driving.
A bearer of stick.
Yeah.
Exactly where I was driving, because I remember back then it used to be what they call condo. You know,
yes,
condo. You hear people talk about it.
Yes.
And then, so how did we get to a point where we are walking on the street and you're just seeing him holding a gun? Especially when I'm going home. You know, you just, the next thing you say, you just hear, I'll go shooting. I'm like, ow! What's this poor masses? What have they done to you? And
they are doing road checks.
And
they are with guns.
Gun.
They are doing vehicle. They are with guns. They want to go and arrest somebody. They are with guns. AK-47 for that matter. There are some guns. See, there are some guns I see with some police.
Yeah, you feel like, oh my goodness.
And the mouth is like the pipe.
Some
that is coming.
And some they've used sellotape.
Like a hose.
They've used sellotape too. So sometimes, and before you know, they will say, hey, it's because the gun is faulty. You don't blame them, because even the gun itself is not in good shape.
Why would they hold gun in the first place? Why would they hold firearms? We call them Olopa, not Onibon. Why would they hold gun in the first place? And then they will now come into the street, maybe at roadblocks, and then they caught mistakenly. I witnessed one, I think around Bagada. This man wants to arrest this guy, maybe the G guys, from an hotel. And in the case of in the situation of dragging the guy, he mistakenly fired. He triggered. He pressed the trigger. And lo and behold, I don't know whether it's law of karma. I stand corrected. Lo and behold, when he pulled the trigger, instead of shooting the guy, he shot himself in the leg. Yes, the police officer shot himself in the leg, and the leg was dangling like this. It was dangling. People were now screaming, this is double wahala for the guy.
No, it can't pain him.
It can't pain him?
Yes.
Okay, maybe by the anointing.
Because it's his own gun. He will be enjoying it.
It's his own gun.
Alright, let's take a look at the next story. And this says Mohbad, police to exhume body for investigation. Celebrities, fans begin protest to demand justice. Lagos State Police Commissioner Mr. Idowu Owohunwa yesterday inaugurated a 13-man special investigation team to unravel the circumstances surrounding the death of Nigerian singer and Naira Marley's former protege. And the singer is Ilerioluwa Aloba, popularly called Mohbad, on September 12 in Lagos. This came as Nigerian celebrity and had aggrieved fans of Mohbad are taking to the street this morning to demand justice for the late singer. So there's a whole lot surrounding this story. There is a whole lot. Exactly. You know, this morning I was still, hearing comments and, people making posts of there's something just has to be done, that this guy cannot just die like that. So, and I know you are nodding your head. You know there is so much to this story, and I want you to, let me start from you. You should tell us more about this story and what you think.
There's so much to this story. See, it is a fallback of what we just discussed, the last story we just discussed. The unnecessary what do we call it now, free hand that has been given to industries in this country has led to the lawlessness. I beg my choice of English, my grammar. The lawlessness in this country led to this. If it is a country that is structured, that everything is intact, is in total. In the music industry, there should be regulations. There should be rules and regulations. There are guidelines. If you do this, you will be arrested. You dare not do this. You dare not do that. Do you understand? Now, this issue, now the body has been exhumed. See, a lot of questions, 1,001 questions on this Mohbad case. Because this is not the first time this is happening. It has been happening before now, and nothing has been done. Only that, okay, I want to say thank God for social media. Thank God for social media. If not for social media, that is bringing a lot of things out now that we are now discussing about. Because there's nothing you do now, everybody's recording.
And I also learned that there are people who were also signed under this record label who had similar issues. Just that theirs did not lead to death.
Quite enough videos, quite enough
and
evidence.
It beats my imagination because
Okay,
the person.
The people have been signed.
Yes, who have
Yes,
been
under this record,
normally.
and this is somebody.
Dead.
Yeah, no,
Not dead.
Experience,
Yes, and
which might have led to their death, like Mohbad. But Mohbad
and some
was
would.
just unfortunate.
Yeah.
Now, do you know the interesting thing? I hear reports that he was injected at the hospital, and the injection made him unconscious, or maybe the injection led him to be unconscious, that people felt he died, and he was buried with his head bent inside the casket. So which means that Mohbad might not have been dead, or might not have died at that time. It might only be in coma or unconscious because of the substances in the system. Because if somebody dies medically, automatically, biologically, the person shrinks.
Exactly.
And it enters into, no matter how tall you are, no matter how fat you are, you enter into the 6 feet coffin or casket. There's no way you can bend, except for some 1 or 2 occasions that dead bodies are bent or broken. But this one was Mohbad. You know, Mohbad's height now is not as tall as that. He's not a basketball player that they had to bend. So which means the systems are not dead yet, but was confined into the casket. So there is a conspiracy somewhere.
There's so much, you know, and there was a clip I also saw. That clip, on that clip, the boy was saying that, oh, they should help him because they gave him water to drink. They gave him something that looked so clear like water in a water bottle, and he was forced to drink it. And after taking that was when he started experiencing that. And this was him saying this in the last minutes before he was, you know, said to be dead. Before that time. So there is more to it, and it just beats my imagination that this person that is being said to have gone through or be in the know of all of this is someone who was signed to be our NDLA ambassador.
Well, but as a matter of fact, the ambassadorial calling was denied by the NDLA. Yes, they denied it, that they never gave the ambassadorial position to Naira Marley. That he only came to their office for a visit, and then the NDLA president took a picture with him. So people were now like, oh, maybe Naira Marley wants to be an ambassador or something.
Well, you know, as our media can always, you know, cock story, but that shouldn't be true. That shouldn't be true.
See, it boils down to my question. My first statement or quote, that the industry is Nigeria itself the system is bad. How would someone who takes substances becomes a public figure in the music industry, still taking the substances and singing and flaunting it? Okay, and NDLEA is there, NAFDAC is there, police is there, NSCDC is there.
You know, now they no longer pay attention to all of this, because I remember there was a time where there are videos that they don't license.
Who doesn't know that Naira Marley takes substance?
There are videos that they don't, that you don't show before you know the cut of that video.
He wasn't arrested, but we see live incidences where police will come into a street to do raid on people who taking substances. They raid them up. So why can't you go and raid these people? Why can't you make arrests? Why didn't you? Okay, the guy died now, and you know he died in the custody or in the knowing of a particular person. whose record label signed him up, and you are not make arrest to ask person. At least we are not saying convict the person, but make an arrest
while the investigation is ongoing.
Investigation. So which means even the high and mighty is not safe in this country if you don't know person. I
am sure that if the fans had not come out to to protest about this would have been swept under the carpet.
I tell you that there are many. I said after this Mohbad's death, a lot of videos, I can count up to 20, Bishop, that came out and they were telling their audios. Apart from that, apart from those who were signed under that record label, other artists, other music artists, hip-hop artists came out to say they experienced such things
while
similar
being under the record label.
Chudike came out and said it. Wandiko said the same thing.
That he suffered that under
yes, yes.
Like I said, there is so much to this story. There is so much.
Even in the Christendom, do you know similar things also happen?
Yes.
Even in the Christian music ministry, somebody is not belonging. If you want to do this,
yes,
you have to belong.
You have under the certain caucus.
So because this is a case of you have to belong. I don't want to belong. Okay, we will show you Pepe. And
that's the point. The young man said he doesn't want to belong to that party anymore. I don't want to be in this record label anymore because what you're demanding from me, I can't do it.
We have democracy, freedom of association.
I mean. So quickly, we'll go on another quick break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at other stories. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for staying tuned and welcome back. This is still your newspaper review on Morning Dew, and we are still here to give you the news making headlines around the globe. So next on our list is the next story we're looking at is Obasanjo justifies public rebuke of traditional rulers. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said he stands by the action he took against some Yoruba traditional rulers from Ishenyi in Oke-Ogun area of Oyo State last Friday when he ordered them to stand up. Obasanjo said he would remain firm, unapologetic and uncompromising on the position that the governor of a state holds the highest office in the state. The ex-president said the ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo said this informed his order on the monarch and on the monarch story, so which is also called Edide, which is, stand up in Yoruba say means Edide. So whatever it is, it still shows that we are subject to the authority. So Edide Duro. So now he also further said that the elders statement states his position on the controversy. This also acts in the general state that whatever it is, we also have to follow protocol and respect dignities, that this must be everything that we have to follow on. Dignitaries, whoever you are, you are also subject to authority. So let me start with you, Bishop. You know more of this, more to this story of just Mona. We're talking about something behind the scene. So, and you've not said much. So, Bishop Eddie De Soroyi. So, what do you have to say to this?
You see, the other statesman, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, in the video ordered some community obas to rise and also ordered them to sit back. And that generated some heat, you know, it's on social media. For me, if you watch the rest of the video, he further, you know, explained that the office of the obas must be respected, that sometimes, oftentimes in the public, he even go as far as prostrating to the obas, and while they are in closed doors, you know, privately with the oba, the obas will prostrate to him. But that we should honor our obas. But beyond that is that no matter our position in this community, in the state, we are all subject to the governor. And the Constitution empowers the governor as the supreme power of the state, the governor and the president. So under that knowledge, he justifies that what he did wasn't wrong. And for me, this is a thing of Constitution. Everybody is subject to the law. When the president is somewhere too, the governor is subject to the president. So the obas are subject to the governor, which I see nothing to by the virtue of his office as a former president, is even powerful than the governor. You understand me? So coming for people to now say that they only crop the part where he said Ejoku. Yes. You know, they felt that
they don't hear the full story.
I doubt many have the full details of what led to him making that statement afterwards. So for me, there is nothing wrong with the statement. And besides, he's far older than some of the obas.
Yes, in
exactly.
age.
In age, he's older than them, and then he has said he prostrates to them. And we have seen the video of him prostrate to the Ooni of Ife. Yes. So that to tell you that he's a custodian.
He's a loyalist
of the tradition, and he will always. But he's just telling the people that I'm not projecting about what if I ask them to stand up and ask them to sit down. Yes. I am a constituted authority myself. So, and to that you hold that office in respect, to obey me when I talk.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that's just the story.
Okay, wait, I know you want to say something, but quickly let's take a look at the last story that we have. And this says Libya protesters set fire to mayor's home in anger over Dana flood death. Protesters broke out in the Libyan city of Dana on Monday, with hundreds venting their angers against the authority and demanding accountability 1 week after a flood that killed thousands of residents and destroyed entire neighborhood. Later in the evening, angry protesters set fire to the house of the mayor, of the man who was Dana's mayor at the time of the flood. Abdulrahman Al-Ghathi, his office manager, told Reuters. So this is another story that we have from the Vanguard newspaper. So full story of that, you can check the Vanguard newspaper. So, but I feel that no matter what we go through, no matter what we are faced, we are not supposed to take the law into our hands. And this is what I know, the government can push us to a point where we feel like we need to do something for them to see that it is really out of hand. But going to a point of having to, set fire into the house of, or on the house of a mayor, it was so out of it. I know they are angry protesters. They want answers, and which is one of the things we are also facing here in our country. We want answers. Labor wants answers to whatever they are demanding for. So if they are not getting answers, it is the next thing for them is to want to, take laws into their hands. Yes. So now, White,
we shouldn't take law into our hands. Yes, but it depends. Why did
Okay.
I say it depends? Yoruba says tabafagbu, buruma fagbo. If you don't put empty cans, you know, a conglomerate of empty cans on your waist, children will not clap and follow you. That is it. If you don't have sugar in your pocket, ants will not come and fetch. Now, if these protesters in Libya are protesting and they are going to burn down the house of the mayor, I'm not justifying it, but nothing comes without something. Something will
trigger that.
will trigger
There's no
something.
smoke without fire.
Yes, there is no
Smoke without
smoke without fire. Thank you, Bishop. God bless you. There's no smoke without fire. Do the needful. We are telling the African government, Nigerian government, in fact, especially Africa, our African leaders needs to do the needful, because gone are the days when people are gullible. People are beginning to be enlightened now. They are becoming more enlightened, more open, more exposed to the outer world. So you can't call black white for them or white black for them again. No, they are prior to knowledge. They know what's up. All I need to do, all I'm going to say on this is that the government should do the needful, or they expect a backlash from their subordinates. Thank you.
So lastly, what do you have to say?
Well, I wouldn't say then what he had said, you know, not that we're instigating anybody to be violent, but there are protesters. You know, we saw a protest in Nigeria that led to people being killed and all, you know, that's the government against the people. So if the people they burnt a house, they didn't burn anybody. It was just a house. So they will fix the house. But what the people are asking for, I think that's a sign to tell the government that we want answers, we want response,
Because
we want justice.
I'm sure their fear is
that you know, the people have been taken for granted too long in Africa. Africans have been so deprived of justice
For a long time.
and it's, you know, it has taken for too long.
And I'm sure that the reasons for this is so that this does not occur again, because it's not just you know, thousands, it's not just 100, thousands of people were killed by this. And if action is not being taken by the government, more death will be recorded. So I also sympathize with them for what they are going through currently. So thank you so much. We'll go would quickly take a look at what we have in the world of sport. So White is going to lead us into that direction, into that dimension of sport.
Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to sport. This is the part I love most on the morning dew. Ladies and gentlemen, Tuesday. Da 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 da. You know that sound? Yes, it's the true UEFA Champions League period season, the new one that everybody have been clamoring for. Today, the UEFA Champions League matches have commenced, and we expect our Nigerian stars to feature in most of their diaspora clubs today. Prior to the UEFA Champions League on Tuesday, we have fixtures of matches that are going to be coming up today. I guess our engineers will be able to display that on the screen for you. But today we are having the UEFA Champions League, and away from that, also Athletic Integrity drags Amuson to CAS. Athletic Integrity Unit, the AIU, has appealed the August 17 ruling of his disciplinary tribunal on Toby Amuson. You know, it was alleged of substances in his system, in dope, that he failed a dope test, and the court has been, you know, it's been investigated, and we pray that we hope that Amuson will come out of that. Not forgetting that he recently bagged a third athletic award in the Sprint Olympic that just happened, and we wish her good luck. So for all the football fans all over the world, UEFA Champions League is here. Tuesdays and Wednesday, we have the fixtures on your screen, showing right there. AC Milan is taking on Newcastle. We just hope that Newcastle will come out of this group of death. Young Boys is taking on RB Leipzig. Barcelona will be taking on Antwerp. Feyenoord will be taking on Celtic. Lazio will be taking on Atletico Madrid. Man City will be home with Svezia. PSG will be taking on Dortmund. I think that game is what to watch out for. Shakhtar Donetsk will be taking on FC Porto. Those are the games for today. And on Wednesday, we have Galatasaray taking on FC Copenhagen. Real Madrid will be taking on FC Union. Arsenal of Gunners will be taking on PSV, and I'm tipping you that don't let me tell you the scores now. Yes, Bayern Munich will be taking on Manchester United. I just hope that Manchester will not be trashed. Benfica will be taking on Salzburg. Braga will be taking on Napoli. Sociedad will be taking on Inter, and Sevilla against RC Lens. Ladies and gentlemen, that's for sports on Morning Dew. Model.
Da 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 da.
You've turned into church hymn. It's not church hymn.
Oh my goodness, I so love it. You know, I'm not a fan of football, but then each time they want to start their match and I hear that sound, I'm always eager to go and stay glued to the screen.
Football, you are missing.
Stay glued to the screen. Right now I have no choice than to find a. No, yes. I don't think I want to come to Arsenal.
No, see, five babes are in Arsenal.
Tell me about it.
Yes, you can hear it.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on today's newspaper review on CAC TV. We are also always glad to be here to give you all that we have to say, making headlines around the globe. So right now, we are signing out. And Bishop, what's your last word for the people?
God bless you and God bless Nigeria. Have a nice day.
And sitting on the chair of Engineer Ola.
Segun White is my name, ladies and gentlemen. I want to sign out by saying, be Nigeria.
Bye, Nigeria. All right, thank you. And that's a wrap from us in the studio. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Till we come your way, same time, same station tomorrow. Have a blessed day ahead. Bye for now.